So even though I had the great connections, I was great with people, I had a lack of confidence. So these connections, your natural talents and giftings, they'll only get you so far. But if there's a mindset in there that is at plate and it's working against you, trying to keep you from growing, then there's just going to be this frustration. I was door knocking for campaigning for a position, and I felt that I really loved the conversation about hearing what people needed. And I enjoyed the conversation rather than focusing on myself of worrying about a door being slammed in my face. That was like my aha moment of why I'm doing what I'm doing, who am I doing it for, and why does it matter? And learning how to serve my community at a greater capacity, throwing off that inferiority complex.
Hi, I'm Tim, real estate agent, veteran, and author of The Freedom Agent. You're listening to the Freedom Agent podcast, where we help agents stop being the bottleneck in their business. Through conversations, stories, and real strategies, we'll show you how to scale smarter and finally take back your time. All right, everybody, welcome here to the Freedom Agent podcast. I am super excited to get Grace Simon on here from, we've got from our first actual person from Canada, so Newmarket, Ontario.
Wow.
Yeah, actually. So congrats. You're the first.
Oh, Canada. That's amazing.
I love my
I'm
Canadians.
delighted.
I'm originally from New York, so I get it. All right. But
But I
Grace
love
is
that.
coming with us with 20 years of experience in real estate. She's an absolute rock star. She is a team leader over at EXP. She is a coach, and she just got onto, what were you saying earlier to me? What was the new chair that you got?
Yeah, I'm the national chair for Canada for EXP Luxury, and
That's amazing.
I'm very stoked, very excited about it.
All right. So excellent. So really excited for you here today. So let's go ahead and jump into our first set of questions. You ready?
I'm ready.
All
Let's
right.
go.
Okay. So first question, and I know you got a lot of experience, but walk me through how you originally got into real estate in that moment that everything just really started to click for you.
That's such a big question. That is such a big question. So I got into real estate when I was 31 years old, and really, I had 3 kids by 26. I got married at 19, 3 kids by 26. It was an important value to me that I was with my kids until they went off into school. And so when my third entered into kindergarten, it was kind of my step into, okay, now what do you want to do with your life? I have no idea. My grandmother, my aunt was a realtor. My mom was a branch manager for a major bank in Canada.
Mhm.
And, my husband was a general manager of a car dealership. My father is a pastor of the local community church. So it just made sense for somebody that doesn't have education behind her and is just really good for people. I had a passion for people and a passion for the community, serve the community. So really, it was as easy as that I stepped into having the spheres around me. And so real estate for me, the first year I was Rookie of the Year. And it was honestly just having a big personality and loving people, but also having the right connections in the community is really important. So that's how I started. But that's not enough to keep you going, and it's certainly not enough to keep you growing if you don't know how to grow your business. So the next question would be where that thing finally clicked, because I had a lot of limited beliefs within me. So even though I had the great connections, I was great with people, I had a lack of confidence because I had really a lack of experience. So these connections, your natural talents and giftings, they'll only get you so far. But if there's a mindset in there that is at plate and it's working against you, trying to keep you safe and keep you from growing, then there's just going to be this frustration that occurs. And I had my frustration because I was comparing myself to producers that had already been in the business 15, 20 years, right? And watching their value proposition of, we sell our houses within so many days and at certain price. And I was like, well, I do that too, but it didn't click with me. Like, it just wasn't something, it was my mantra. That's their mantra and they like that, but it just didn't sit well with me. Mine is Mine was something like Purpose for Community, or I can't even remember. It was so long ago, but it was people with community, and that was my attachment. But I didn't know how to really release and understand that. And so my lack of confidence, my lack of value, my lack of belief really, really held me back from really taking off, where other agents that walk in great confidence, they may have other beliefs and things hidden, but they're really able to walk out fully in that confidence. I really struggled with it until any questions up to this point?
Oh, no, keep going. I love this. Keep it going.
Okay. So, going in, always a producer, always, things always worked out, not really having, great systems behind me. I really just did well with the community and the connections and going at it, but still struggling with that inner talk of lack of confidence to really go after what it was that I wanted. And I can give an example of it. Door knocking. I used to hate door knocking. I am like an extreme extrovert. I can sing, I can pray, I can minister, I travel the world. I can go up to anybody and talk. But door knock from house to house, I would have this conversation within my head, and it would be something like this. I hate door knocking. I hate doing this. When you speak continuously the same message over and over again, and you're doing in your action, you're not really going to grow. You're going to keep repeating the same action, but you're not going to really grow until something shifts.
Yeah.
Well, something shift here in Ontario. Our premier had put in immigration tax. Because a lot of immigrants were coming and buying up land and making it too expensive for Canadians to purchase. So he put in a tax for immigrants, and it softened the market. It quietened the market. And I saw this tidal wave coming in, and thankfully all my clients were okay. But I all of a sudden woke up to an understanding that a lot of my clients had moved up north. They had cashed in with this surge of pricing and everything, and they'd moved up north. My kids had grown. They were no longer playing hockey. My daughter was no longer figure skating. My mom had retired. My father had retired. My fears that I was just gaining business from naturally had shifted, and I didn't pay attention to him.
Yeah.
So when this market had softened so many years ago, 8 years ago, as a matter of fact, I was like, what am I going to do? I have not grown my community. I have not grown my spheres like I needed to. And now I'm in trouble. Now I need to meet as many people as I possibly can. What was presented to me, because the very thing will be presented to you, Tim, on the very thing that you're asking for. Ask and it shall be given. Seek, you'll be found. Knock and the door will be answered. Remember, I don't like door knocking. What was presented to me was the offer of running for city council.
Oh, nice.
Somebody approached me that knew me in the community, and they said, I think you would be really good to run for councillor. Have you ever thought of it? And I said, well, a matter of fact, I actually did one day when I was folding clothes. I said out loud, I think I'm going to be a town councillor in 5 years. I was like, I don't know where that's coming from, but it might happen. And sure enough, he, approaches me with this question when I'm in this dilemma. And I'm like, oh, I need to really consider this. And my consideration was, well, you know what? Door knocking, I'm going to meet a lot of people. So if I win, holy smokes, I don't know the first thing about being a counselor, but I'll be serving the community in a greater way. And if I lose, well, I've door knocked a lot of houses and will have met a lot of people.
I love that.
So I door knocked a lot of houses, hundreds, thousands, me and my father, day after day, month after month. And you know what? I fell in love with door knocking.
I love that.
So much that I beat my opponents by 1,000 votes ahead of time because I love it so much. I fell in love with it because I had shifted my perspective onto something else. I was door knocking for campaigning for a position, and I felt that I really loved the conversation about hearing what people needed, what they wanted. And I enjoyed the conversation rather than focusing on myself of worrying about a door being slammed in my face. And so, Tim, And that was like my aha moment of why I'm doing what I'm doing, who am I doing it for, and why does it matter? And learning how to serve my community at a greater capacity, throwing off that inferiority complex, that lack of confidence. They call imposter syndrome now, but I don't really believe in imposter syndrome. I just think you lack confidence and lack activity. So by shifting these things, it transformed my life and transformed my businesses. It opened up new doors to today being the national chair for the luxury platform for EXP Realty.
Grace, it sounds like you've been through a lot, and that's pretty amazing. I think the biggest thing that I hear when you talk about this is your conviction. And I think that's what a lot of agents out there, entrepreneurs, are really looking for. It's that conviction behind your belief in doing something, even if it was something you hate, in this case, door knocking. One other thing I want to visit before we move on to our next question. You talked about putting yourself and positioning yourself in front of everybody else that's around there, but nobody else is you. And I know you as a coach, I'm sure you've read The Gap in the Gain, Mark Luciani's book. But you always measure your success from yourself. If you haven't, got to check it out.
No, I got
But
to,
it is,
yeah.
you got to check this out. It's about measuring yourself to yourself. And we talk about mindset, and I know you as a coach, you understand that. But having that shift in mindset is the thing that exploded and made you the rock star you are today. So that's so awesome. I love that. Okay, so you've got a lot in here. So I want to unpack maybe one or two of the systems or decisions that you made that made the biggest difference in your business. Now, I know you spoke about door knocking. Was there anything else outside of that really helped explode your business in either phase?
Well, I made 3 major decisions. One in that same year when I went door knocking, I joined John Maxwell Coaching. So I entered into a community of bigger minded people and surrounded myself in them. And I met people globally and learned. I just stepped into a place of, I need to grow. I need to learn. I need to develop. Because I had stepped into a non-traditional brokerage. I left my traditional brokerage into a new brokerage that nobody had heard of 8 years ago. And so I was like, I need help. So I joined in with John Maxwell. And then my third one was I ran for city council. And that, making those decisions, the power of decisions and taking massive action. I think it's Tony Robbins or, one of the big motivators is always like taking massive actions. Making decision is not enough. Taking massive actions really is the key of doing that. And so that's really where if I was to look at myself 8 years ago prior to and who I am today are very, very different. Grace is still Grace. I love people. I have a passion for people and a passion for my community, but I am not the same person as I was back then. Back then Grace would write down what she wants to earn, what she wants to make, and have a clarity of doing that. But there would be such a gap of where I was to how I'm getting there and not understanding how to do that. Whereas today, it's breaking down those barriers and continuing to really challenge your beliefs of why you believe what you're doing. Like, is that really true? Because our subconscious holds so much that drives us nowhere, just keeps us safe. So I think that's just being a learner, stepping in the room with massive producers, right? With my company and your company and who we are, getting into the room. So being a learner, no matter how many years of experience, like 20 years of experience now, means nothing to me anymore, Tim. I am in the room with high producers learning all the time. AI systems. If you're not in AI and you're not building systems, you're not anywhere. And so having an open mindset of, what is relevant today? Who cares that I have 20 years experience? It's beautiful. It's wonderful. It's amazing, but you cannot live off of yesterday's success. And John Maxwell would say that your yesterday's success is tomorrow's failures if you just live off the success that you once had and don't do anything to grow from that or change it.
I love this. Yes, there's so much in here.
Hey, quick break. I believe the best agents in this industry have been sold a lie. that being great at this job means losing everything else to do it. Nobody ever told you that was a choice, not a requirement. The Freedom Agent is a coaching platform and virtual assistant connection company built for agents who want to keep their production and actually get their time back. If you're ready to build that system with a coach beside you or just need your first trained VA in place, that's exactly what we do. Check us out at freedomagent.net. All right, back at it.
Woohoo.
All right. We are back here with Grace. Grace, I've got the tough question of the day. You ready?
I'm
Warmed
ready.
you up to this
Give it to me,
point.
Tim.
Let's
Come
go.
on, let's go.
All right. So when we talk about your business, right, and it could be across the different realms, whether you're in your coaching hat, your lecturer hat, a real estate hat, what would you say is the hardest part that wears on you the most? And of that, what are you doing about it?
The first thing that comes to mind? So I just have to respond to the first thing that comes to my mind
Of course.
is the level of service that I'm giving my clients.
Okay.
That's the most important thing to me is that am I am I listening well and am I serving them well? Because if you're not serving your clients well, then your business is not running well.
Okay. And what are you doing to ensure that we don't continue to fall into that trap for you?
Systems, you're a system coach, right? And everything's about systems.
Yeah.
And so in this fast movement world that we're in, systems is a priority. So I was never a systems. Well, we all have systems. We just don't know what they were, but I wasn't open to systems where it's now if you don't have systems and you don't understand how to make a system work for you effectively, then you're falling behind. And so that's where for me, knowing that I'm committed holding myself committed and accountable to what's important in that serving my clients and creating that system. So implementing when I'm reaching out to them, how often am I reaching out to them? Am I listening and am I delivering what it is that they need to hear and have from me?
Awesome. Oh, I love that. And last question that we'll have for here. Can you describe to me one of the systems that has worked out for you the best in this stage of your career?
So my CRM system, the thing that I never used, and a lot of agents don't use it. I've learned that again, what they're telling you is true. Believe it. You need to have systems, and your CRM system is really important. And listen, I'm still learning it. I'm still growing in it. I'm still figuring it out. I have an AI. I like it AI. I have an assistant and an AI assistant. I have a couple assistants that are in my CRM working for me. So I'm not working harder. I'm working smarter with the systems that I have. And so by ensuring that my clients are getting the delivery of service and the value that they need, it's through the assistants that I hold. So I love your company and what you do. I want to hear more. Tim, I want to hear more about that.
I know. We'll talk more for sure.
To call with me. Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome, Grace. Well, I promised you I would be respectful of your time. So last question at you. If somebody has a referral for you, wants to ask questions, wants to sign up for coaching, interested in your brokerage, anything like that, where can people find you, Grace?
I'd love you to follow me on Instagram and message me through there. That's probably the easiest way of gracesimon.newdoors or newdoorsmentorship.com. I got 2 platforms there. You can follow either or, but send me a message and say hi. I'd love to connect with you.
Oh, absolutely. Love that. All right. So thank you so much, Grace. I appreciate you being on here and sharing so much of your wisdom. It was freaking awesome having you here. I really did love the taking massive action that you talked about, having that limited belief, because no matter how many years you've been in this business, that can still be the thing that holds you back. And just being open to accepting, what the world is giving you. And I think that's really going to hit deep with a lot of our listeners here. So guys, as well, if you were interested a little bit more about the assistance, we talked about that. I wish we had more time, but we don't. Maybe I
want to hear about it. Seriously.
But having AI, implementing it with assistance and things like that, guys, if you're interested in my program, you can check out The Freedom Agent. It's the book. It was an Amazon bestseller last December. Go ahead and check that out, or go on to freedomagent.net. And of course, you guys can check that out there. But guys, again, thanks, Grace, for being here. And we will see you in our next podcast. See you guys.
Oh, thank you, Tim. Thanks so much.
We appreciate you being here for this episode of the Freedom Agent Podcast. If you're serious about scaling your business without working nonstop, check out the free resources, the webinar, and the Freedom Agent book below. We'll see you in our next episode.